Yeah, I almost started the stream saying good morning. I ain't gonna lie, this is my second time waking up today. I woke up at like 11 a.m., did like some little small moving around. I fell back asleep, and I literally just got out of bed like 40 minutes ago again. Fucking Calico, man. Calico. You got us up here watching Murder Mook versus Arsenal all the way to like 1:30 in the morning. Then I got on the phone for like 40 minutes and debated and argued about the battle. Long story short, I went to sleep at like 4 o'clock, like 4 in the morning, because I started to watch another battle and replay Mook and Arsenal as well. So I was just like, y'all go support that battle. Mega grudge match was just completed. Shout out to Calico. And you know what else I did today, real quick, while I was awake? I heard Arsenal's the rest of his second round before he dropped his round. Listen, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all this. No bullshit. You know, I'm always keeping 1,000 with y'all. Arsenal probably got out before he dropped his round about three plus minutes of material. He has about another 3 minutes plus of material that he did. I heard every single bar from the point where it dropped to the remainder of his second round. Like he went insane in his second round. If he would have got that second round out, I think he clearly would have took that round. But you know, I don't want to keep going and going because then y'all gonna be like, oh, ARP's on some. He's championing for like no. I kept it 1,000 on last night's stream, but I just want to tell y'all I heard the rest of the second round and it's incredible. Arsenal, man, you might have to drop that for the fans. Y'all drop a comment below. Y'all let Arsenal know or tweet him. You know, hit him up on social media. Let him know if y'all want to hear the rest of his second round because it's dirty. It is dirty. But y'all see the title, y'all. Drake and Akademiks theory. Also, we got Tony Buzbee responding to Jay-Z. I got a bunch of videos that I'm gonna bring up here with y'all. We're gonna chop some fables together. This DJ Akademiks theory. I have a new theory. I haven't seen this on the internet not once. I haven't heard anybody say it. No conversations around it. And I caught some recent videos, you know, of DJ Akademiks, air quotes, being exposed for, you know, an undercover Kendrick fan, right? I mean, now, if you're a hip hop fan, you're probably a Kendrick fan. It's not hard to be a fan of Kendrick. Doesn't really mean too much. And I'm not here to do the corny, childish thing of, you know, playing into a narrative of, oh, DJ Akademiks, you can't be a fan of Kendrick because you're a fan of Drake. I think you could be a fan of both. I do understand that he has this that's my favorite rapper and this overly protective, it seems, you know, Drake thing going on. And we spoke about that too. I did a stream. It was like the 4 or the 5 top reasons why Akademiks gets backlash over Drake. Check that stream out if you haven't seen it. I'll link it to the end of this video as well. But here is a narrative, or here is a theory that I have. It might be genius. It might be smart, and it kind of would loan to Akademiks if true. But before I give you the theory, let me bring up some of these videos just so we can set the backdrop. So in this first video that we're going to play, this was Akademiks pretty much what people say getting exposed as seeing that Kendrick is his #2 Spotify artist.
His loyalty as a Glazer has been called into question. And that is because the #2 person on his Spotify rap list is Kendrick Lamar, meaning he listened to Kendrick Lamar just about as much as he listens to Drake, which begs the question, is DJ Akademiks an undercover Kendrick Lamar fan? So over.
Now, let's stop there. Damn, I hate that word Glazer. Like, I swear, internet, man, y'all got it. Y'all got it. Now, having Kendrick Lamar #2 on your Spotify list, there's no way around that. It's very significant. You can't get anybody on your list like that unless you play them, I believe, like thousands of minutes or hours or whatever the case may be. So there's really no way around that. And the second video that I just brought up, this is when Kendrick had his pop out concert and DJ Akademiks was reacting to it. But past that, we're also going to go back to some things that Akademiks said while I believe he was on the show with Joe Budden from Complex, right? We're going to go back to some of the things that he said about about Drake and Kendrick, rating their albums, who has classics, who doesn't. it's completely night and day from the things that we would probably see him say today, right? So let's go to that, and bear with me, y'all. I got a theory for y'all.
Yes, I like me and I'ma set it up and pop it. Put the round, nigga, I'ma get him drunk. 18 music and I won't pass it off. How many shots do I really have a shot? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5.
Bro was acting like nobody can see him. And then when Cat Williams said, "Don't you know we can see you?" Bro, I'm having fun on this video right here. Anyways, back to the matter at hand, which is Akademiks an undercover Kendrick fan? And that brings me into the next part of this video, which is this tweet from the Twitter account Whoopin' Feet that said, before that OV ho check, they struggle. What he had to say.
Wait, pause right here. So let's see this tweet. Before that OVO check cleared, insinuating that Akademiks is paid by OVO's camp and Drake to do the type of media, the type of championing, and the type of defense, and all of that narrative pushing for Drake. Saying before that check cleared and hit his account, Akademiks used to tell the truth about Kendrick versus Drake. Drake got no classic albums. All Kendrick albums are classic. Drake's scared of Kendrick. You can't have a ghostwriter and be the best. Now, this isn't somebody just tweeting. These are statements that Akademiks actually made. And of course, people went and kept the files.
A struggle. Let's see what he had to say.
I don't think he'll be considered classic. I'm not considering that Drake has any unilateral classics that would be seen by the culture. 3. And I'm not counting. I think all these are classic. Like the niggas just puts. It's just his shit is amazing.
Yeah.
Like
wait, what's the 3 you count?
To Pimp a Butterfly. Even though
as a classic album.
Yeah, I thought like by far. Actually, I think the rapping on To Pimp a Butterfly is better than Good Kid, Mad City. The songs on Good Kid, Mad City. And some of the concepts that he kind of get into, and also it's a first look on a big scale, so like we see it differently. But if we just going by rapping, I think some of his best rapping in his career, like if we're just talking about the 3 albums, was on To Pimp a Butterfly, and that's why I think it's not that easily digestible. It was really rapping, trying to explain some.
So back then, Drake had no classics. Kendrick had 3, but now Drake is better than Kendrick. I wonder what 3 projects Drake put out between then and now that would make Akademiks suddenly change his stance. I ain't gonna lie, they coming with some good evidence, y'all. They coming with some good evidence that Akademiks might be under.
There's more of that. Let me switch. There's another one that I gotta play. But even just to close that point out, this is the thing about consistency, people. That right there, there's nowhere around. Like, I think we would all bet money that Akademiks wouldn't say those things today on his platform about Kendrick having 3 albums and Drake having none, and which albums of Kendrick are lyrically inclined to that level and which are classics and for what reasons. I mean, to even put something scaled next to Good Kid, Mad City, like Pimp a Butterfly, it's just like that's saying a lot. Like Good Kid, Mad City it's one of those. Like it's one of the few vinyl albums that I got on my wall. I have a gym where I have a bunch of albums on the wall, right? Just music, inspiration and motivation and just the look. And that's one of the albums that I got up, right? Because it's just an undeniable piece of work. But anyway, I say all that to say, when people do complete 180s like that, this is what strips at your credibility. And these are the things that you just can't erase. And I think that's why I sarcastically said before that OVO check got cleared. But this one right here is going to push me towards my theory. Give me a second, and then I'm going to break that down for you. But let's make sure we watch this and we're on the same page. Break screen it.
Drake's biggest supporter, #1 fan, #1 stan, is going to listen to Not Like Us more than anybody out here. Drake's biggest supporter streamed Not Like Us and had it at #1 than anybody. Hold on, let me see.
Oh, shit, I did show it. Nah, Not Like Us is my #1. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was. Not Like Us, Bent, Euphoria, Family Matters, and Push-Ups. I don't even know how it was #1, but fuck it.
We're going to bring that back again. What I want you guys to pay attention to as we rewind that is Akademiks' physical reaction. So that's the thing about being live, right? Like, I am here live with you guys. That is the danger. Like, if I pick up my phone right now, like, If you guys ever see me answer my cell phone or check who's calling me, I had to teach myself and program myself to even pick up my phone a certain way, right? So that I don't accidentally put the screen, you know what I'm saying, on the live, because we're live. All it takes is a split second, and then I got somebody's phone number out in the internet world on accident. So I always train myself to like pick it up like this, and if I say something right now, unless I delete the video and nobody remembers it and it's not there by the time somebody wants to go back and reference it, it's a wrap. I can contradict myself. It could be 5 years from now. The internet is the internet. They will go back and they will say, wait a minute, ARP, you said completely opposite last year, right? But this right here, his physical reaction is almost like a ghost walked in the room. He go, huh? And he realizes that fast that he's live and there's no getting out of that. Just that fast. That's why I gave you the example of my phone. When you stream live, like, oh, it's out there. Like, it's not a recorded or pre-recorded video. So his reaction was he tried to jet past it real quick. He covers his mouth. He couldn't control that natural split-second reaction of making that mistake. And then he's smart enough and fast enough outside of that split second and then clean it up and just own it and say, nah, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It's number one. Watch his physical reaction.
Did anybody? Hold on, let me see.
Oh shit, I did show it.
Right now,
not
he's
like
owning
this
it.
is my number one. I ain't gonna lie.
I had to own it. See? And then scroll back up.
not like us, bent, Euphoria, Family Matters, and push-ups. I don't even know how it was number one.
I don't even know how.
It was number one though, for real.
I'll tell you how it became number one. You played it. So, let me tell you something, people. Let's be clear. The last thing I am is an academics hater, right? I'm not that invested in people's however they manage themselves online. If I'm that invested or if I'm that turned off by somebody, I won't watch them at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's weird. I think it's very dick sucking level, very weird level, very clown level to watch somebody, follow somebody, comment on somebody's page, any of that. If you have a true dislike for the person, I don't keep that type of space or energy or time involved in my energy or space at all. So I would I wouldn't do that unless I was saying I despise somebody and I had to just go check something out just for my own quick knowledge or information or something like that. But I watch Akademiks, his content a lot. He gets more media coverage out than any other streamer, right? So even if you're just a hip hop fan, you watch him because you're getting a lot of updates from him. So let me be clear here. This isn't one of those general DJ Akademiks hate or getting at him type of videos. I followed him for a lot of years. Now, let me get into my theory. My new theory that I've never heard before about DJ Akademiks and Drake. Because if you paid attention to that first video that we played, when he was on The Everyday Struggle with Joe Budden, and he had a lot of things to say about Kendrick's albums that we can just all bet once again he would never say today on his platform. What made him act like that? When they say the check cleared, right? That's a key indication. That's a key indication. Now, is it as simple to me personally that Drake says, hey, I think that you're a big media outlet and here's some payola, right? Speaking of UMG and Drake and all that shit and payola and bots. Here you go. Hold on to this. I don't think that it's business at all between OVO and or Drake and then Akademiks and some type of in between those two guys, a deal or an understanding or a money exchange or payola. I don't think it's any of that. I've given DJ Akademiks credit on this channel multiple times for being very, very, very smart. The way that he talks, the way that he interprets information, the way that he interviews people, the way that he plays sheep, the way that he plays stupid. I think he's a very, very intelligent person with high intellect, right? Takes one to know one. I'll be real. And I think a lot of y'all see that too, because there's a lot of smart people on this channel as well. I see y'all in the chat and I see y'all in the comments. But here's the thing. He has said it at times, and I think that because he gets so much backlash for being an OV hoe, air quotes, that people overlook it. Every once in a while, he gets in his bag and he says it when he's defensive, when he gets a little defensive and he's a little bit, annoyed. And he said, man, y'all think I really care who wins? You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't. Like, I'll buy a car next month off of covering the Drake and Kendrick back and forth battles, regardless of who wins. Do you think I really care? I don't care. You want to know what I really think it is? This is the take I haven't heard yet on the internet. He says the Drake stimulus package so much. Niggas caught the Drake stimmy. And everybody always says that Drake, everything that Drake touches, well, at least prior to this battle, turns to gold. If that's the case, do you think it's only for let's take Little Durk and let's take God's Plan, or let's take this song, or let's take this Rick Ross feature and make him number one? Let me give Future a hit. You think it's only for music? Is that what y'all think? No. If the guy is that big of a deal, if everything he touches is gold in the music industry, if he stands next, I saw a documentary on Drewski. Drewski said he plans on getting God's Plan tattooed on his leg because him simply doing a cameo in the music video changed his whole career. Do y'all hear what I just said? Drewski says he wants to get the single God's Plan, Drake's song, tatted on him because just making a cameo in the music video changed his life forever. And I think this is another reason why Drake gets so upset at people that he feel chose a side or didn't choose his side, because he feels like what I did for you was life-changing. What I did for you changed your money. What I did for you changed your fan base. I really, really believe that's why he looks at some people just like, wow, you? The fans don't get it. The average fan doesn't get it. That's what Drake's thinking. The average fan doesn't understand that me featuring with you wasn't just a hit song. It was the birth or the revival or the taking you into a new echelon of your career. The fans don't get it. They're not behind the curtain. But we're getting this now. We're understanding more of this, okay? So if you haven't given Drake that credit before, you damn sure need to give it to him now. Because I think we could also all agree, as big of a fan base we have for Kendrick on this channel as well, these numbers aren't these numbers unless Drake is included. Does Kendrick bring his side to the table? Absolutely. We're not taking nothing from him. But it's the two titans meeting. This is why you have like Hitman versus Cassidy being one of the biggest main events in battle rap history, because Cassidy on his own is mega. Hitman on his own is mega. When you put these two together, when we first announced it, people said this matchup, we never asked for this. What is this? This don't make no sense. I knew though, one thing is going to be is mega, one of the biggest, if not the, and I have the stats to prove it. It's no different than Kendrick and Drake in the music business level now. So staying with the everything he touches turns to gold theory. When Akademiks has those little flash moments of like, you think I care? Like, no matter what I do, I'm going to win. He got the Drake stimulus package too. When you become a hub for Drake's information, Drake's narratives, Drake's music, Drake's following, oh, I'm the one that's getting the text messages and saying, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I just got a text message, y'all. Drake don't really have a second kid. Or I'm going to tell y'all right now, Drake, he's going to get in the booth and he's going to respond to Euphoria. Yeah. So now you know what comes with that, right? The entire Drake following. And as much as Akademiks says that the Drake stimulus package, Akademiks got the Drake stimulus package too. He's looking at his numbers, he's looking at his payouts, and he realizes how much that Drake fan base has lined his fucking pockets. So I think it's gotten so monetary for him at this point where it's just like that reaction that we brought up on screen. I don't want the Drake fans that compose my Drake stimulus package and all this extra money that I make without that fan base being involved in my platform. I don't want them to see that Kendrick is my #1 streamed. I don't know how else to paint that picture for y'all, but that's an angle that I've never seen before. And I was like, you know what? That makes so much sense to me. And the reason why I'm a strong believer in that, and I've already always taken all his stuff with a grain of salt when he talks about Drake, obviously, right? That's why he gets the backlash that he gets. But when you think now about the fact that he's smart enough to be lining his pockets with it, because he, like a lot of other rappers, knows the effect of Drake. It just all still loans to what I've always given him credit for, being smart. So wouldn't it be ironic? Let me close it like this. Wouldn't it be ironic if we all push the narrative saying that Drake is using and playing Akademiks? If so, what if Akademiks is just as smart and saying, I'm playing into all of this, so come feed me, Drake fans. I appreciate the love. Don't worry, I got y'all. Yeah, Drake is number one. Oh, forget what I said on Everyday Struggle about Kendrick's albums. Oh, my number one, that's an accident. I don't know how that happened. My number two stream, Kendrick, I don't know how that happened neither, but I'm here for us. It's us. It's OVO, y'all. Come on, y'all. Keep clicking up, keep supporting, keep buying this merch. It's us against the world. Drake's stimulus package until Drake's golden boy effect wears off. At which point, I would have already made a couple $1 million off of Drake. Hey, Ak, shout out to you, because I feel like that's what you're doing now. Oh, shit. I hope y'all like that angle, man. I swear to God, that's an original one. I don't know if you could find that anywhere else. Let's stay with Akademiks now to transition into the second topic. I don't like this neither as it relates to Akademiks and Drake. When you're a big Drake supporter, whether you're going for the stimulus package or not, you take on that person's enemies, obviously, right? You take on that person's narratives. You fight those fights for that person. And the Drake and the Jay-Z thing, it's been there for a while. Yeah, they did songs together. What was that? Pound Cake. And I think Jay-Z navigated it in a way, especially because Drake is kind of at his dominance is kind of where Jay-Z was already moving away from music for the most part. He wasn't really trying to be the number one guy in music anymore. So he didn't even really fully have to compete. Okay, you could drop in every once in a while, deliver a God's Did single and verse, and we'd just be like, oh my God, Jay, he's still that dude. But he's not sitting there trying to stand on the top of the charts and dominate and take the number, because Drake possibly with this new era of fans would have bested him, right? That's the thing. Sometimes people maneuver into different spaces and they don't necessarily even have to compete for a number one spot that they maybe used to sit in, right? They just relinquish it, right? Like, so anyway, I saw a tweet from DJ Akademiks. It said Jay Ziddy, the Z turned into Ziddy, Jay Ziddy, and then he goes into and I'm just like, what? I don't know nothing from watching Ak over the years to interpret that he's got an issue with Jay-Z to the point where you want to just disrespect his name like that, like put Diddy in the Z of his name, Jay Ziddy. And the only thing that I could come up with is the Drake and Jay-Z stuff, because I think anybody that would be of a competitive level of Jay, here comes the Drake type of pushback, right? That's the only thing I could come up with. So I saw that, and it made me look at Tony Buzbee's response. I saw it yesterday or late this morning, very, very early. But when we did our Jay-Z initial stream, I didn't have it in front of me. We did the article, the coverage of what he's being accused of, the story, and how this alleged 13-year-old got in a room with Diddy, an unnamed celebrity woman, and Jay-Z, allegedly. And then we read Jay-Z's immediate response. Y'all put me onto that in the chat, and I brought that up, and we read that together. And that was potent. Jay-Z, he stood on his shit with that response. Like, but this is Tony Buzbee's response. And it's going to continue to loan storylines and, perspective to what's happening here, or at least initial thoughts to what's happening. So let's read this. So he posted a picture of himself, which looks like he's in his Marines uniform, because you saw that Jay-Z called him out. He said, aren't you like a Marine? You're supposed to be standing on valor and honor. Like, this is some other shit. But hey, I dealt with people like you before. But this is what Tony Buzbee responded. He put a picture of himself in that same valored up uniform. And he writes, recognize this guy? This is a picture of the weapons platoon commander, Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 4th Marines from the Old Western Pacific Cruise book. Despite a coordinated and aggressive effort that has included harassing my kids, contacted my clients and former clients to encourage them to sue me, contacted my colleagues or former employees, asking if I've abused them, showing up at my current employees' homes to harass them, filing frivolous cases against me and my firm, defaming me with outrageous assertions to anyone who will listen, and having mysterious people follow me and my family. I'm still that guy. I won't be bullied or intimidated. People will see through this effort to discredit me and my clients, and the truth will be revealed. I also won't allow anyone to scare my clients into silence. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and I am quite certain the sun is coming. Oh, we gonna be fair, y'all. We gonna be 1,000 here. Tony Buzbee has some bars too. Jay-Z has some bars. Busby has some bars. So if it was a rap battle, all right, hold on. What debate? First round is debatable here, or technically would it be the second round because they both have lawsuits in against each other. So this is the second. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But that is a very, very stern, solid, confident response. I look for confidence in people that are in situations like this. Some of this I can relate to. I'm not taking a side right now, right? But I'm just talking about the verbiage. Some of this I can actually relate to. You don't allow somebody's money, prestige, their valor. You don't allow anything that somebody brings to the table that may be of like high significance or be looked at as to be so big or so powerful to bully you. I don't believe in the word bully. You know, you get to a certain age, there's not supposed to be, the word bully is not even supposed to be a real thing anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I respect him taking that position. He said a lot about his family being followed, and being harassed. One thing that I wouldn't like, and if he's I shouldn't say if he's a lawyer, if he's smart, I believe that he is. He doesn't get to where he's at by not being smart. And he's obviously passed the bar, right? if if somebody was harassing and following my children and I had a suit against somebody that was about allegedly harassing or I shouldn't say harassing, violating a 13-year-old, I would go and get myself some proof. If you follow my children or you harass my children, I would love, as Tony Buzbee, to supplement that within court and saying, like, the same person that we're saying, violated children, guess what? He's harassing mine. Right? So I want to take that one and say, that ain't cool by any means. All the other ones that involve his ex partners, so to speak, employees that he's worked with, family members, etc. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying I understand it if that's really what's happening, because you're dealing with Jay-Z, one of the most powerful people in the industry, and he's using his resources and his power to dig fully into Tony Buzbee's background. And what they're looking for is any little crack, any little dirt, any little skeleton to bring to the table to complement the fact that he's taking the position of, this is a fucking shakedown, this is a dirty person. That's how it goes. I've been there. I've been in situations where somebody played a certain game and I went and grabbed a whole bunch of information. Me and people around me and lawyers went and grabbed a whole bunch of information and threw it up on the drive, or stored some of it in cloud over here. You put it in email over there, and let it sit there. It's just like, all right, cool. Watch, this is the example of how I pick up my phone on live, like I was saying earlier. My boy, hey, I'll call him back. But see, but yeah. I mean, That shit right there is it's really a tactic that I don't think it's some scary boogeyman shit. It makes sense. That's what happens. That's what happened. If you get in a car accident and you file a lawsuit, saying that the person behind you on the highway just rammed into the back of your bumper and gave you whiplash, and now you're walking around with one of the discs in your spinal cord slipped or some shit like that. Don't they hire private investigators to follow those people around and see if they over there on jet skis, playing basketball, playing rugby, football and shit, right? No, you know that if you walk your ass into a fucking law firm and you put in a suit talking about like I got injured in a car accident, anytime you're on camera, anytime you're out in public, anytime you're walking around, you better have that neck brace on. That neck brace is symbolism that I'm really, really going through something. When you get in the privacy of your home and your shades is drawn and nobody can see you, you can take it off and all right, right? When you're out in fucking public, it be the idiots that say like, "Yo, I could barely walk now. Like I'm all fucked up." And then the camera or some private investigator catch their ass at a basketball game running full court. Eh? But your neck was all fucked up, right? That's what Jay-Z is doing to Tony Buzbee at level 10. It's exactly what it is. So I actually totally understand that. I don't just read that from Tony Buzbee and say, "Oh, damn, you're following. This is harassment. This is crazy." No, this is what private investigators get hired to do. And he's hired his private investigators because he wants Tony Buzbee as well. And that's what he means when he says, you made a mistake by playing with me. You made a mistake. It be the tombstone. I'll be your huckleberry. You got the right one. So if there's any illegitimacy to your claims, your process, any frivolousness or frivolous nature to your lawsuits, any money grabbing intentions, any dirt or skeletons in your closet, you play with me and now I want you. That's what Jay's doing. It's almost like that type, like imagine if he finds something. Like Jay-Z could end up getting Tony Buzbee, like to say, losing the loss of his license from like let's say malpractice or illegitimate practices, or let's talk about extortion or whatnot. Like Tony Busby's got a couple charges on him, right? I think he's got one for assault on him or something like that. They found a couple things on him. Not trying to say he's not a valid or an accomplished, decorated lawyer, right? I think he's very successful from what I hear. But imagine you find something that can get this man to lose his license. Or even worse, his ass gets put in jail because nigga done found his shit that he was hiding. That's what the Jay-Z's of the world are going to do. And to be honest, people, you don't even just got to be Jay-Z. I think if somebody plays with you and you feel like you are innocent, or you feel like somebody is doing you wrong, or puts a frivolous lawsuit on you, or is trying to do a money grab, go to whatever depths that you can to not play the game. Go to whatever depths that you can to defend yourself. Go to whatever depths that you can to make sure that I want to make sure that you understand that I'm not the one. There's somebody else that you can probably get away with and do this type of shit with, but not me. You're better off pulling this shit on somebody else, right? It'd be like, once again, I'll be your huckleberry, and you see how that scene turned out, right? All right. Chat. AK was the mole. Shout out to Flat Out Fudge. AK was the mole. Interesting theory. Shout out to the members. AK-47 says there's an open assault case on Busby right now. There you go. You know what I'm saying? And let's be clear, people. I don't be jumping out the window with stuff like that. Like, just because I have an assault case, you don't know what that assault could be. Somebody could have walked up on me And you know, people that started fights and got their ass whooped has walked into court and filed assault. Like there's a million reasons to catch an assault case, and you still be in the right? But you can still catch the case, right? So that's for the court proceedings and your lawyers and everything to work out. So just because you have an assault case on you, doesn't really mean much. But it'd be the details of that assault case that he got that we want to know. You know what I'm saying? So obviously he's still lawyering without any issue. So what's up, Queen? How you been? It's been a second. It's good to see you in here as always. Jay Zitty, though, you out of pocket. That's what I'm saying. That's what led me to transition from the act shit to this Busby. And I said, I'm gonna cover both topics at the same time. Shout out to the members. Lulu says Jay first filed the motion for Jane Doe to release her name. Yeah. So this was what 2024 almost 25 years ago, right? I love that position by Jay-Z, which is like, yo, if you have any evidence, any proof, any truthful nature to this shit, why don't you go ahead and walk this shit into criminal court, right? Like, I don't like when Busby's position is our demand letter didn't have any money in it. But what do you think a demand letter is for, right? Why do you think you reached out to Jay-Z's counsel or his legal team in the first place? You were trying to engage in some form of negotiations, right? You have one of two options. You can say, I have a client, they have a claim, I'm going to write it up as a lawyer, and I'm going to go walk it in and file it in court, right? Or you could say, I have a client, they have a claim. Before I go walk myself to court, I'm going to take this route first. I'm going to reroute for a second. I'm going to go over here to the alleged defendant, and I'm going to try to talk to them and see what their response is. I'm going to see if they agree. I'm going to see if they disagree. I'm going to see if they want to settle. Right? Like, what do you think a demand letter is for? You know what I'm saying? So, okay, you didn't put no numbers in your demand letter, but Tony Buzbee, some of us wasn't born yesterday. Don't talk to us like idiots. Just because you didn't put a number in a demand letter, how about this simplistic logic? I don't expect you to put a number in your demand letter because it's an initial correspondence, right? You want to get in touch with Jay-Z or his representatives or his legal team, let these conversations begin, and hopefully, if you're Tony Buzbee, hopefully get to a point where money is discussed. That's when we start negotiating and shit like that. Well, all right, well, look, my client, she lost work and she's not socially fit anymore and she feels away and she's had to go to all these different psychiatric classes and all this type of stuff, and she turned into being antisocial, and here's all these damages that my client feels that they have suffered because when she was 13 that situation happened. So what do you say? A cool $500,000? You agree? You disagree? And then can't get a counter. All right, we don't. My client doesn't think 500. My client thinks 350, 425. Deal. Sign these paperwork. It goes away. We get the money. You get the silence. Everybody walks the different direction. It gets to that point. The numbers ain't in the initial fucking demand letter. So when Tony said that, he took some of us for idiots. So if you ever take me for an idiot in the face of the public while you're playing, I shouldn't say playing, while you're executing these legal circumstances, it's gonna be a strike on you. Like, he just said something stupid. He just said something that I think didn't make no sense. That seemed like a lie. That's what happens. And it don't necessarily have to be the whole Tony Buzbee, we don't know you. Jay-Z, we supported him for 30 years. So we'll automatically have this Jay-Z bias. There will be a lot of people that do, right? But Jay-Z being who he is and what he represents within the hip-hop space, he's going to make us call your shit into question. And look, he's paying all these private investigators to call your shit into question times 10. So y'all get the point. And Jay got a weird case. Why he around? Don't do that. Don't do that, Jay. So Jay-Z has had his accusations over the years. Foxy Brown was one of them. Earlier this year, Foxy Brown came out publicly and stood up for Jay-Z. We covered that on the stream. She was like, "What's wrong with y'all trying to give me a turn on Hov? Like, how y'all built?" She stood up for him, right? You have that. You have how old was Beyonce when he really got with Beyonce. So you got that. you got the simple fact of hanging around Diddy right now makes anybody look bad, right? Because it's like, if you're that close to him and we believe Diddy did some or at least half of the shit allegedly, then you had to know about it. It's very hard for me to tell you I have a best friend for 30 plus fucking years, and we've done all this hanging out and vacations and partying and celebrating and collaborations, all this type of shit. And then you tell me, hey, did you realize that this whole time this guy's Jeffrey Dahmer? And I'll be like, really? I don't know. Like, they're like, nah, you seeing something. Like, you know something. At worst case, you partook. So that's where it comes from. That's where it comes from. And Jay-Z's got to fight all of that. And that's why having allegations like this suck for any man, because putting it on your name is something now that people have to go defend in the public. So that sucks for anybody. But yeah, all right. I'm looking at the chat. Shout out to the members once again. What we got here? I keep not getting notifications. I'll say this about notifications. I've gotten that before. I'm about to hit Quarter Lab up and ask them a question about that once again. I get DMs about that. Here's what I'll say. I don't believe. So there's like 460,000 subscribers on this channel. Let's say all 460,000 of them turned on their notifications for this channel. I don't believe that the way that YouTube works is that it would send an update to all of them. I believe that YouTube has mechanisms to gauge a video and continue to unroll out to your following, right? For example, what if I click live on accident? You're going to send out 460,000 notifications? Nah, like sometimes people tell me that they get notifications and by the time they join the live, 5 minutes then pass. That means because it's rolling out. It's making sure that this is a valid live. It's making sure that we really hear people are joining. It's a real video. It's not an accident. Nobody slipped and fell and hit the live button. Also, what else would make sense? You got all these other variables involved as well. You got carriers, right? You got these cell phone carriers. You got different layers between that of how long all that type of stuff, man. It's a lot of technical stuff in between. I'm still gonna ask the question for y'all though, and try to get a little bit more details just to make sure that everybody's on the same page. But yes, people, please keep your notifications on. And one thing that I do consistently before I go live is I always tweet it. I always tweet the topic and the thumbnail. I post it to the Instagram stories and I post it to the Facebook. Okay, so Twitter, IG, and Facebook. Me personally, before I hit the live button, I post it to all 3 platforms. So if you follow me on IG, it'll pop up in the story. If you follow me on Twitter, you should see my tweet. But then again, similar sometimes applies there because it's like all your followers may not see your tweet. Like, so I'm doing my best to make sure that I get this out so that people can join from the beginning. Because even though I will upload pre-recorded videos at times, especially for members only will always get pre-recorded uploads, whether it's a battle, whether it's a podcast. They'll never. I don't do lives and then set them to members only. If it's live, I let the public have it. Period. Right. So I want to make sure that because a majority of what we do up here together will be live, that people can get a bulk of their notifications. But keep like, commenting, and subscribing. And I still got updates for you ASAP about us getting to Spotify. All right, y'all. So I feel energetic. I'm gonna go get in the gym. That's probably because I slept twice today. Thanks again, Calico. 2 o'clock in the morning and shit. All right, y'all. Sorry it's true. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. We'll be back. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of y'all day.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss, making decisions my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry It's True podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.
Without, I think still got a gun.